too much information. In fact, lock it down now.
Hello. Have a chair to sit on. Everybody has a chair. Fabulous. Welcome everybody to the Evacovation celebratory launch. It has been a long journey, which Rashid will share with us. But let's give Rashid and his team a really big hand. Evacovation is going to be doing amazing things for our country as well as for the planet, and we are really, really excited to be able to be here and support Rashid in launching that event. I have my notes on my phone because we are in an age of digital, and I think that it's okay for us to use digital technology rather than printing. So, before I start, my name is Anna Oshrov. I will be your MC for this evening. I am a business owner. I run event marketing training programs, and I've been working with Rashid and his team to bring this event together, both as an organiser as well as your MC. Now, to get us started, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. For those that haven't had a chance to use the bathrooms are straight out to that door. You sort of go right and then a little bit right, and they're kind of in that direction. Male toilets are to the right, female are to the left. Might be the other way around, just check the signs. Now, the emergency exit is straight through that door and then to your right, and you will see doors to your right over there. So if there is a legitimate emergency, we can do a pre-test for Evacovation. But we'll see how we go. Now, before I get started, I really would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting. I pay respect to their elders, past and present, and to the Aboriginal elders of communities who may be here. Thank you. So it's come to that time for me to introduce to you our opening speaker, who is Rashid Khan. Rashid is a well-known business leader who has been awarded at multiple global platforms for his commercial and social initiatives. He is the founder and CEO of Evacovation, which is a real-time hybrid app. He comes from a solid 20 years of professional experience in security and risk spanning from law enforcement to emergency management and also IT management, which makes him perfect for bringing together Evacovation. Now please help me by bringing your hands together and welcoming to the stage Rashid Khan. Woo!
Thank you, Anna, for a wonderful intro. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, colleagues, my family, and all the guests across the globe, a very good evening. This is the moment of truth, a moment of pride for me, standing here in front of you guys, presenting my dream, Evacovation. A journey which started 7 years ago when I was working in security and risk space with some of my colleagues here at National Australia Bank. I realized that my job is not just a commercial responsibility. It was more than that. Whether I was taking people to safety by these building emergencies and bringing them back in safe, or whether I was trying to find missing people, it was all about saving lives. That's when I realized that I was born for a bigger purpose. During this time, I had the chance to work on both sides of the spectrum in emergency management, both as a client and as a service provider, where I had deep insights to the policies, frameworks, the infrastructures, procedures, and processes of emergency management. I was very lucky in so many ways that I worked with a team, and the team is here as well. That they worked on the 4 pillars of emergency management, from mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. During this time, I envisioned that there is more to emergency management, that why emergency management has not taken a step or a leap to technology. And the more I studied, the more I found that the biggest thing in emergency is getting people out safe. And the processes and Australian standard were so much thought through that a single moment of inaccuracy can impact someone's life. And that was the only hurdle. So my first priority was to break down these emergency management processes into smaller portions so we can convert them into technology. As we know, that adapting a solution can be a very hard task. And it took me 7 years to get here. Because I wanted to make sure that evacuation and all of its processes are flawless, because it has got one critical delivery of saving lives. God has its own ways of guiding us through when we have a real and meaningful devotion. Sometimes He guides us through the thought processes. Sometimes He guides us through the ideas He's embedded in our minds. And sometimes He brings people into our lives who bring that value to us in our mission. And I'm very lucky to have those people in my life. I would like to thank Kanwal for her unprecedented support to me and being a partner in all this journey. I'm thankful to Andrew Stark for his support, Bruce Beasley, who has always been a kind man to me. There's Craig Sharkey, who always lent his ear and trusted ear to provide me with feedbacks whenever I asked. There is my brothers, Steve Ballas, who always guided me. All these people mean a lot to me because they helped, paved, and shaped what I am today. Evacovation. Let's talk a little bit about Evacovation. What Evacovation does, it encompasses all 6 core emergencies, from fire, evacuation, floods, even external emergencies like active shooters. I would like to thank each one of you for believing in me. And I'm honored to host all of you, both in person and online. I would also like to thank the Government of Australia for providing us a fair go and nurturing the great ideas in innovation so that a country can lead the world from innovation in emergency management space. Now I would like to invite some of my board members. Shan Rahman, I hope I haven't missed things about you because you have been part of that beautiful journey with me, of that late night finishes, early morning starts when we sat down and broke down those processes into technology. Would you like to come on stage up here? Bruce Beasley, can you come right next to me as well, please? And my great friend and mentor, Andrew Stark, please honor us. And now, in front of you guys, I would like to launch our app from the iOS store to my mobile phone. And here we get our emergency dashboard right in front of us. Thank you very much, everybody. Now I will put it back to our wonderful MC, Anna Osho, and then we'll continue with our presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What an honor to be here to see the app launched. Many, many years of hard work. Let's give them another hand. And thank you to the board and thank you to Rashid. And now we have a very beautiful story that's going to be shown to us through the form of a video about Evacovation. Over to the AV team.
This is the story of saving lives. Bringing us hope, happiness, aspirations, and ideas. A truth which binds everything together and weaves us into an interdependent universe. The truth about the most precious creation, life. Humanity has advanced in every sector to achieve one common objective: efficiency. However, some internal and external threats remain unresolved. Together, as one human race, we have fought a never-ending war with fire, natural disasters, active shooters, forest fires, medical emergency, bomb threats, personal threats, and external threats. Many brave men and women have sacrificed their lives to save others. From the frontline firefighters, paramedics, to the policymakers and wardens, we have continuously struggled to achieve preparedness and manage emergencies. From red water buckets and wireless handsets, the emergency response management vertical is yet to break the barriers of innovation and adopt technology. Evacuation is here with a contemporary approach to radically change the emergency response management sector through our powerful portal and user-friendly mobile application. Welcome to Evacovation.
Woo! Yeah. What a beautiful representation of how Evacovation can really save the world. Now, we have a very special guest who is going to be sharing with us next. We are in a global pandemic, unfortunately, that has prevented people from being able to join us here. But we are very lucky that we live in a world where technology enables us to really be able to be globally connected. And so our next guest is actually coming to us live from overseas. I'm going to have the pleasure to introduce Shafat, and then Rashid's going to have a couple of words to say about another board member that's been really instrumental to helping Evacovation be what it is today. So I have the pleasure to introduce Shafat. Shafat is a serial entrepreneur and a leader with over 20 years experience in business. He is currently serving as the chairman of Stallion Gates Asset Management. He's also, that's in Abu Dhabi, AU. He's also the CEO at Brand Beat, and they've actually created all of this beautiful design that we see around us. And he is also that's situated in Dubai and UAE as well as in Australia. And he's also the CEO at Techcross, which is in the USA. So Shafat very much is a global entrepreneur, and he's joining us here from the other side of the globe. Let's give him a hand, but we're going to get Rashid to come up and introduce him. I'll say a couple of words.
Thank you, Anna. There's few things I wanted to say about this gentleman you see on the screen. When I said the God guides us through the ideas and innovations and the people, Shafat is one of them. As we friends from the bunker used to call brother from another mother, so I call him brother from another mother, because he has been so instrumental from last 1 year plus in making sure that all the processes which the wardens and the chief wardens see is not only flawless, but has an exceptional user experience. Because that's the most critical thing in a chaos. You can't afford to have an unpleasant user experience because you are in emergency. So I would like to thank Shafat for his presence here tonight and his presence in my life in general. Thank you, Shafat.
Well, hello everyone. Good evening. We're speaking from far away overseas, and this is Shafat Hashmi. Before I begin, it's such an honor to witness the moment of truth. That is a 7 years journey achieving one of its prime milestones, a dream of my dear brother, Rashid Khan. Rashid Bhai, thank you very much for your lovely remarks. The feelings are mutual, and may God bless us in our journey towards success and really creating an impact globally. Me and Rashid, we met about a year ago through a platform where we were nurturing in a moment. I have never come across such an amazing business leader, somebody who has a vision of an eagle flying on the top and could look everything as to what's the bigger picture, and at the same time looking at each and every detail. He has a big heart. I had multiple discussions with Rashid, and I have a commercial mindset, being in investments, running an investment company, and obviously running an advertising agency. So every time I would like to sway Rashid towards the commerciality of the business of Evacovation, every single time Rashid would turn away and pivot and swing towards the emotional side of the business, which is saving lives. I have never ever come across such a gentleman who is not only making or doing something for PR, or who is doing something for being famous. Nothing drives him but the feeling of saving other people. That is his driving force. That is his motivation. And this is the vision. This is the dream in which we have invested our time and money to go in length when it comes to supporting Evacovation. I'm honored to be a board member. It's very kind of Rashid to consider us for that responsibility. And I'm serving Evacovation as a Chief Growth Officer. So I'm going to change that hat and wear the Evacovation hat now. Evacovation is a much needed system, I would perhaps say, at a global level. There are billions of dollars which are lost every year at a global scale because of natural disasters, because of fire, because of active shooting, because of personal threats, medical emergencies, and there's so much to it. People lose lives. I happened to lose my father early this year. One person in one family had an impact, left a space which can never be filled. And this drove me to understand, being empathetic, that how is it when anybody else loses anyone in their life? And what is it that evacuation can do? If I was to redo the tagline, I won't really say evacuation saving lives, but I would say evacuation bringing smiles. This is what evacuation is about. It heals the hearts. It prevents. It's an app which knows no borders. It's non-discriminatory. It's for everyone. If we have bushfires in Australia, this is the application which can prevent and manage bushfires. If we have something going on in a building, this is the application which can not only save lives, but the hard-earned money and wealth that has been invested in that building that could be saved. So the beautiful portal at the back end, and obviously the mobile application, the front end, has been so well thought through. And as Rashid has rightly mentioned, it took us almost a year to redo the UI and UX over and over again, making sure it's perfect. You won't believe we have chosen and worked on the colors, ambers, reds, and greens that could work when there is smoke and low visibility. And this is the reason we have used yellow as one of the colors on the screens, so you can see even if there's low visibility. So this is the level of detail that we have worked. Evacuation is completely self-funded by Rashid Khan. He has dedicated his life on this application, marriage for a lifetime. He has brought us not only to celebrate the ceremony today, but he has brought us to be a partner to adopt evacuation. Our price points of subscription, our price points when it comes to our engagement strategy is brilliant. It's one of the only firms that delivers an experience across all levels and across the entire spectrum. And this is really our competitive edge. We start from policy level, equipped, advise governments, to advise corporations, large warehouses, manage multiple assets for one single corporation, which is, across different geographical locations. It doesn't matter. It is all integrated. A small SME, a restaurant, a cafe, a high-rise, a community of villas, or it could be just your home at a household level. Every single thing, every single sector is what we serve. It's so holistic in nature that 6 core emergencies are taken care in one single app. It requires about 2 hours to 3 hours of orientation. You don't need any external hardware. We have API integration, so if you have a pre-existing system, we can just plug it in. I mean, it's adaptable, it's flexible, and it doesn't need any additional investment. It's a simple software, train the people, get them going, and you're secured. You're secured at a level which is not provided by a single company at the global level. So from an investment perspective, we're not just a startup. Yes, from a capital perspective, we might be seeking seed capital. But from the business status perspective, we are at the growth stage. From today onwards, it's such a huge milestone because from today onwards, we are going aggressive within Australia and outside Australia. We are targeting countries, we are targeting international corporations, and we're excited that from today onwards, we're going to bear the fruits and the ROI of the blood, time, tears, money, all that has gone into this business. So I humbly call out anyone, especially from the investment background, anyone who's in real estate, anyone who owns an SME or a corporation, to at least explore what Evacovation is all about. It is a game changer, and it is going to have a great impact. The beautiful part is that we haven't stopped. This is just the first version, which is out there, that Rashid has downloaded. And Andrew and my dear friend Bruce, they have downloaded in front of you. We have innovation in motion. And we are going to continuously improve the processes, the experiences. We plan to integrate artificial intelligence. We plan to integrate IoT, and we plan to integrate machine learning as we grow in the next 2 years. Our focus is there. There is nothing else that we're doing except Evacovation, especially when it comes to the leadership. And I'm yet to meet, I meet entrepreneurs and SME owners. I work with so many different verticals at a global level. I haven't seen somebody so committed as Rashid is. So this is the best mix, that you've got a great entrepreneur with commitment, with passion, with a beautiful heart, somebody you really wish to be partnered with. And then at the same time, he has got a beautiful business acumen, which helps others and at the same time is profitable. So this is all I have to say. I would like to acknowledge all the board members, the team at Evacovation, the team at Brandbeat, the team at Sean's end from our technology team, working in different countries, and all those who were here attending the event today. You've taken out time, you've traveled from different areas. I would also like to acknowledge my partner, Imran Arif, who is amongst you right now. Another dear friend, Yogi. Yogi Bhai, I'm sure you're looking good. I'm yet to see you on this. And Rashid, I must say, you look sharp today. Before I give my closing remarks, I have to acknowledge somebody really important. The beautiful wife, my sister, who's Rashid's wife. I would request the audience to give a loud applaud for her support during the last 7 years that she has given to Rashid. His 2 beautiful children, may God bless them with long life. They're like my own children. And my own kids love Rashid, by the way. I mean, we haven't met yet. This is family. I think whatever, as a wife that she is doing, as a mother that she is doing, and she's an entrepreneur as well, her unprecedented support, love, and care is something which has made Rashid successful. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you for your attention. And I wish there was no COVID and I would have been alongside with you. And Rashid, if I was there, I would have played the song on a grand piano to celebrate this beautiful moment of truth. May God bless you all, keep you safe, and keep you protected. This is Shafat Hashmi, and thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Shafat, for joining us. It is such an amazing opportunity to be able to run events and celebrations that are truly global. I really am deeply grateful for the opportunities that we have in today's society to be able to launch something like this on a global scale. So thank you so much to Shafat for joining us. Let's give him a hand. Woo. Now I'd like you guys to take a moment. Shafat did really speak to what Evacovation is, and it really is a startup, and we are really looking to be able to grow this incredible company. Now, on your tables, there is a card. On the card, there is a QR code. The QR code will lead you to be able to download the app. I do encourage you all to download the app, to have a look at it, and to really support this great organization that is Evacovation. Now, our next guest is joining us from Sydney. Our next guest is an international speaker, and he is one of our mentors and has helped both myself, Rashid, and some of our guests to really step into our voices and be able to stand in front of a stage and share the opportunities that we are able to share with our audiences today. That person is Sam Cawthorne. Sam Cawthorne is a master professional speaker, trainer, and incubator for potential talent. Sam is the CEO and founder of Speakers Institute and Caring for People. Sam is committed to inspiring the world with his flair, and we're very excited to welcome to our virtual stage today, Sam Cawthorne. Let's give him a hand.
Hey, Anna Osherov, it is great to see you. Hey, guys. Hey, Anna, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And guys, it's really, really awesome that you're all here today. And guys, I also feel very privileged as well of being here today. And again, just a huge congratulations to Rashid, you and your amazing team. I feel absolutely honored to be a part of today's, really world launch of Evacovation. And, ultimately, I think we all have stories, yeah? And I believe some of our stories, form some of the highlights, some of the lowlights of our life. Yet at the same time, I also believe that our stories are no longer ours to own. Some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest, presenters, some of the greatest influencers, some of the greatest, people just like you and me are those people that have actually learned how to share their stories in a really powerful way. And you might be wondering, why is this relevant to today? I have a story, and my story is I actually have lost an arm. I had a major accident a few years ago, and I'll share with you a little bit more. But guys, ultimately, the emergency system was actually the very thing that saved my life. So a few years ago, my mum is Indian. She's born in Kolkata in India. Father's Scottish, born in Edinburgh in Scotland. I'm one of 11, huge family. But I was born in little Tasmania. And I remember, like any normal kid, I had these big dreams, these big aspirations. And unfortunately, traditional education didn't work well for me. And I found myself getting kicked out of school. But I then got an amazing job with the Australian federal government as a youth futurist. And in this job, they gave me a big company car, big V8 Statesman. And I remember, like I had a little bit too much on my plate. But on this particular day, I was driving along like any other day, but I actually was quite tired. And I fell asleep behind the wheel. I was then told that I had veered over the other side of the road, and the police said it was a 206-kilometre head-on collision with a semi-trailer truck. And yes, it was my fault. I fell asleep. And basically, what happened, my right arm was ripped off my body and was over 25 metres away from the car. I had 6 broken ribs, a lacerated liver, punctured kidney. Both of my lungs had collapsed at the same time. My entire hip was shattered. My entire quad was ripped off my bone. This is on my right leg. I lost my kneecap, broke my fibula, broke my ankle. So basically, I wasn't in a very good shape at all. And after about 18 minutes, I was then told that I'd lost consciousness. I was then told that I'd stopped breathing. And right there at about 3 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my heart stopped. Right there for about 3.5 minutes, the paramedics pronounced me dead. Now, I didn't know I was going to die that day. I didn't know that that could have been the last time that I was going to see my loved ones, my mates, my friends, my colleagues, my family. Sometimes we take life for granted. But I can tell you something right now, is that quick response time, is that the ambulance drivers, the people that was on the highway, the response time, that was one of the main contributing factors of me being alive today. And so, guys, there's no better time than right now to actually find a better system in how we can have greater response times, how we can actually develop more positive stories out there in the world. I still remember so many people that have actually told me quite sad stories about the response time was not on time. And unfortunately, that person is no longer here today. I've heard of other stories where, unfortunately, people did not get the requirement that they need in the time that they needed it, and unfortunately, they now live with a permanent disability. And so, guys, I'm so inspired by you, Rashid, and the rest of the team that have been behind this. I truly, truly believe that it is needed today more than ever. But, guys, in closing here, I really wanted to encourage us all in and around, where the future is going and how we can all, whether we are employees, whether we're business owners, or whether we're just simply navigating a brand new season in life. As was said in my intro, I'm the CEO and founder of Speakers Institute and Speakers Tribe. We train professional speakers. We actually train those people that want to go out and get a TED Talk. And, it's quite interesting, because through my car accident, I then went through a rehabilitation process, and then a local youth group asked me to share my story. I went and shared my story, then another youth group, and then another, school. And then before you know it, I literally changed and shifted my entire career. I then became a full-time professional speaker. I've now written 11 books, yes, 4 New York Times bestsellers, and just really, I love the idea of helping other people, of just transforming people's lives. And I believe we all are here to help other people. We all exist on this planet so we can help and contribute and add value and serve and contribute, because that's where our greatest fulfillment can come from. And as we all learn how to share our own personal stories, how we can all learn to influence others in positive ways or win the attention of our marketplace or our workplace, how can we navigate better future possibilities in our own life? So I wanted to give you 7 key areas and what to look out for as we are all navigating our own personal stories, and we're all learning more about how to influence, how to win people's attention, and even just simply make a difference and save more people's lives. So if you can, why don't you take out your phone, or maybe you want to write this down, because these are 7 key areas that will really help you in navigating what is next in this year of agility, in this year of navigating a brand new chapter in our personal and our professional lives. So let's write this down as we go along. The first thing is this. What we must understand is this: AI, everything. Yes, artificial intelligence, everything. The reality is this, is that if we still have this phobia against AI or robotics, mainly because of the movies that we watched, 20, 30 years ago, the reality is that you're going to be behind the curve. And so my encouragement to you is find out more about how AI can be a fundamental part of who you are as a difference maker in the world, and educate yourself, because the reality is it's going to be a big part of our life, both our personal life and our professional life. It's not going away, and it's going to be infiltrate every single part of our life. First one is AI, everything. Second one is this: work from anywhere. What we're now seeing right now is large Fortune 500 companies closing down their offices and giving their staff an opportunity to work from home full time. They're noticing greater productivity and performance. And so what this means for difference makers and people that are making a difference out there, how can we have more flexible working environments? One of my friends, he's one of the head managers of Commonwealth Bank. And get this, just in October last year, he moved to Bali with him and his family to work full-time remotely for Commonwealth Bank. It's a really, really fascinating season. The third one is this, is seamless hybrid. What we're now noticing, and particularly even I've noticed, Rashid, in your app, is that everything now is frictionless. Meaning it is as easy as possible to book. It's as easy as possible to use that user experience. There's the less amount of friction as possible for someone to get a positive outcome in the end. And ultimately, I believe every meeting, every conference, every event, every conversation is going to have a hybrid element. And the bottom line is that we must make sure that it is as seamless as process and as seamless as possible. But also the marketing world are all talking about frictionless. How can we have the least amount of friction for the greatest possible outcome? Number 4, hyper-personalization. I like this one. Hyper-personalization. Hyper-personalization, and what this means is this, is that if someone wants to win our attention is that I'm only going to give someone my attention if it is a personal experience just for me. A spray and pray model no longer works. What we need is not only a personalized user experience, but we also want a personalized experience for me to spend any time at all in that particular, experience. So my encouragement to you is, what are you doing right now to win the attention of our people, and how can we have this hyper-personalized experience in both our personal and our professional life? Number 5, cyber war. What we've seen over the last 8 to 9 months is really, really fascinating. You've seen cyber war against governments. You see cyber war against, Fortune 500 companies. We see cyber war between individuals. And I believe we haven't even scratched the surface of what we're going to see over the next coming months and years. And more we're going to see this cancel culture. People are going to be deleted from social media apps. Tech companies are always going to have a seat at the table. And ultimately, what we're going to see, over the next few months, few years, is a war when it does come to words, tech, global companies, Twitter fights, and so on and so forth. So what that means for the individual person, for you and I, is how can we have a conversation that does not provide too much offense in order for people then to lash out at us. And so ultimately, this is one thing I love about your app, Rashid, and obviously, your next chapter in your life is, it's just a beautiful experience for everyone to enjoy. Number six, I like this one, radical simplification. Yeah. What radical simplification is, it is all specifically about this new season that we're going through, which is actually called every human needs to be a polymath. So what is a polymath? A polymath is a jack of all trades, where we actually have experience in so many various different disciplines. Back 30 years ago, the average human being had about 2 to 3 careers. Nowadays, we're having 2 to 3 careers in 1 year. And so what that then means is that if we want to help and contribute, add value, serve, even give people an education in what we're doing, we must make it as simple as possible. Why? Because even my own personal life, right? I believe I'm pretty good at marketing, but I'm also good at sales. But I'm also really good, at business. I'm also really good at speaking. I'm also really good at writing. I'm also really good, at training. I'm good at coaching. I'm good at mentoring. I'm also a good father. I'm also a good husband. And so the reality is I'm now this polymath. And so if I want to learn something, I want to make sure that people are giving me a user experience that is so easy for me to catch. And so whenever we are communicate in bite-sized chunks. The media call it sound bites. Whenever we want to give people an amazing experience, make it easily to catch. Radical simplification, yeah? And number seven, this is my favorite. Number 7 is this: flex, scale, and speed. Bottom line is this: 2021 is the year of agility. And so how can we be as agile as possible the moment that the government, locking down borders or changing this or doing this? We have to be agile, yet at the same time, we need as much speed as possible to disrupt our current marketplace. Yet at the same time, we want to scale ourselves. And Rashid, I do believe that you and your team are a beautiful living example of these 7 things. Number 1, AI everything. Number 2, work from anywhere. Number 3, seamless hybrid. Number 4, hyper-personalization. Number 5, cyber war. Number 6, radical simplification. And number 7, flex, scale, and speed. Guys, one thing I've realized is that the more that we share through our own experiences, the more that we share our stories, the more that we can help and contribute and add value and serve, is the moment that we will realize that we are now living our purpose, our destiny. And so my encouragement to you, if you're watching this video right now, I want to encourage you to do everything you can where you can go out and help and serve and contribute. And again, thank you so much, Rashid, and the rest of the team for allowing me to come here and sharing this message with you all. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this app can add value to humanity and how this can actually make a difference and save people's lives. Why? Because I believe our greatest days are ahead of us, because the best is yet to come. Thank you so much, Anna, for allowing me here today.
Yeah.
And back over to
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to have a very quick pop quiz. Pop quiz for everybody in the room. I know that some of you were writing this down, so well done. I know there's definitely somebody who wrote this down at our table. So who remembers Sam's 7 tips? What was number 1? AI everything. Great. What was number 2? I got one up the front. Anybody else? Anybody else? Work from anywhere. Yes. Number 3. It looks like only one person wrote this down. Seamless hybrid. Number 5. Can I count? Did I miss one? Number 4. Anyone? Anybody can remember number 4? All right, lady at the front. Hyper-personalization. Now, this is really, really, really important in today's society. And if you can notice, all of these kind of blend together in an opportunity to be able to really make a bigger impact and a bigger difference in the world. Who enjoys being marketed to when it's not personalized? Anybody? I got a really great email the other day, and the heading of the email said, "You are not just a number." And then the opening email said, "Hi, 32, comma." So hyper-personalization is really, really important. Number 6, cyber war. Ooh. It's a really crazy world that we live in where it is really possible to have an attack from completely somewhere that is beyond my understanding of how that could even happen. And so having platforms like this can really support not just what's happening, in the room, but also can support what's happening externally. And number 7, radical simplification. Now, we heard Rashid before speaking about Shafat, who really supported the creation of Evacovation being seamless. The user experience is the most important part of any technology, and we're very, very grateful that we've got some great people on board to be able to have created Evacovation App and not just the app. If you can have a look to my right, it's not just an app, it's a portal, it's a policy and it's a framework, strategy and consulting, as well as training and auditing. So it goes well beyond the app, and all of it, every single touch point has been designed with user experience front of mind. And now it's not just me that's here to endorse Evacovation. We have some really incredible people who have had the opportunity to work with Rashid, who've tested the app, who've worked with some of the team, and we've got some of their endorsements that are going to be shown to us while we have dinner served. So team, please share with us.
Congratulations, Rashid, and all the Evacovation board and team members on your launch tonight. Hello, my name is Karen List, and I'm a communication specialist, coach and mentor, and I have had the privilege of working with Rashid over recent months to support him to craft a strong and clear message about the importance and the necessity of this innovative technology. As a mother of 2 young adults, it's very reassuring to know that in this age of technological advancements, there is an online portal and an app such as Evacovation assisting to make our world safer in emergency situations. I'm so excited for the future of this company. Congratulations, everybody. The world really needs what you have to offer.
My name is Mehrbaan Sadiq. I am the chairman for International Emergency Team UK, charity based in England, work in South Asian region, helping saving life. On behalf of my team, I would like to congratulate Rashid Khan and his team for such a wonderful idea, Evacovation App.
I'm Andrea Putin, expert in community leadership and also a volunteer in the emergency response area. I know how important it is that we get our emergency response right the first time. There is no second chance. And I'd like to thank Rashid Khan and evacuation on the work that they do. It is such an important field that we need to work stronger and harder at. Congratulations on the development and the launch of your new mobile app, which I am sure is going to save lives throughout Australia and the world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leanne Charland, thought leader and mindset strategist. I just want to congratulate Rashid Khan for his amazing adventure that is just beginning. Evacovation, leading people through trying times to be safe, secure, and go home. Congratulations, Rashid.
Hello, my name is Malak Travasilov. I am a serial entrepreneur and international business law and space law legal advisor. I would like to congratulate Mr. Rashid Khan for the launch of the emergency response application. Technologies improve lives and save lives. You put these words into action. Congratulations one more time and all the best.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I'm from Brazil. I want to congratulate Evacovation for solutions to improve the world. It's a hard mission, but it represents hope. Congratulations to all of you. Bye.
Good afternoon. I'm Alfredo Collosa from Argentina. I am tax administration consultant. Today is very important saving lives. For this reason, I would like to congratulate to all teams of Evacovation and especially for Rashid Khan. I know that today is very important, save lives, and it is a good achievement from this team. Congratulations to all teams. All the best.
My name is Olga Moroz. I am professor at Al Khalifa Business School. I would like to congratulate Evacovation this amazing video and very important work. I am sure the world will be better. Warm regards from Berlin.
My name is Frank Sventek and I am the CEO of SPF Systems in Cyprus. The greatest achievement in any tech industry is to enhance or save human lives. I would like to congratulate Evacovation team and Mr. Rashid Khan for the extraordinary effort in developing technology like connecting and protecting anyone who might face an emergency situation. Wishing you all the success you deserve for creating a safer environment and saving lives. Thank you.
Greetings from Zagreb, Croatia. I'm Ksenia Cipek and I work in Croatian Ministry of Finance Tax Administration as a head of tax risk analysis. Saving lives on time is proving today more important than ever. Therefore, I am impressed with work of the Evacovation team precisely with the goal of saving lives and development technological capabilities to connect with everyone who faces an emergency. Congratulations to the Evacovation team and Mr. Rashid Khan for outstanding achievements that enable the saving of lives and better future for all of us.
Hello, my name is Ralf Lange. I am the Executive Director from Motionfinity in Germany. And I really like to submit my deepest congratulations to the entire Evacovation team for their outstanding, committed efforts to create this safe living solution. I know it's a long journey for you and I'm sure it will really make a world a better and a safer place for all of us.
Hi, this is me, Tareem Zuberi. I would like to congratulate Evacuation team for their committed effort to create a solution to save so many lives. Thank you very much and all the very best.
Hello, this is Dr. Anand here. I've been working with Rashid Khan of Melbourne from here in Newcastle on Facebook, on Zoom, and on StreamYard. I find him a wonderful person and a very loving, honest, integral person. He's launching an app. Please use it. Thank you.
Evacuation and celebration. Hello, hi everyone. This is Antonio Anuta speaking from south of Italy today because of weekend. My name is Antonio Anuta and I'm a chartered tax advisor for Locanton Partners, Milan and London office. I like to, every time actually I think of evacuation, I tend to think about, this beautiful song. And the reason for doing that is because we all need to celebrate on Russian Khan and his wonderful team on, the achievement of saving life by using technology, new technology. Rashid Khan and his beautiful team is such an important and extraordinary inspirational models for everyone. So thank you for listening to me, and keep following Rashid Khan and his team. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Audrey Meliva. I'm the founder at Net Healthing, and today I'd like to acknowledge Rashid Khan, the founder of Evacovation. What I love about Evacovation is that it's using technology, online technology, the most powerful way to save lives. Evacovation is an online platform relayed by an app that interconnects all the data, the info, and the people to guarantee a timely, effective emergency response.
Hi, I'm Nasrin Jahan from Bangladesh. I'm a honorable member of National Human Rights and Humanitarian Federation. I'm here to congratulate Mr. Rashid Khan in this pandemic situation. We all together, saving life is the main thing. And my best wishes for evacuation and Mr. Rashid Khan.
Wow, that was celebrity endorsement from all over the world. Isn't it incredible? I leant over to Rashid as we were sort of sitting there listening, and I was like, how do you know all these people from all around the world? You know what he did? He just looked at it and went, and that is just the type of person that Rashid is. Some of the incredible celebrities you'll see, they're sitting at the table over there. Some of them did come to us from all over the world. Let's give them a hand. Thank you so much to all the people that really supported and endorsed this incredible platform. Now it's actually time to hear from some of the board members. We've heard from Shafat. We've got 2 board members here in the room. We've seen them on stage, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Bruce. Bruce Beasley is the Chief Emergency Compliance Officer and an advisory board member at Evacovation. He brings with him a wealth of experience. Bruce has played an integral role in policy implementation across Australia. His extensive experience proves him as one of the most dynamic professionals in his domain. Please help me welcome to the stage Bruce Beasley.
Thanks, Anna. Unlike Anna, I've got, this is the presenter, thank you. I've actually got written notes. So I'm pretty blind now, so I'll have to put my glasses on. Thank you very much. So, as Anna said, my name's Bruce Beasley. I'm the Queensland connection for Evacovation. 32 years as an operational fire officer. I actually still ride the trucks and still go to fires. And as of October this year, I'll retire. So I'm really looking forward to that and spending more time with my family. If I get a little bit messed up tonight, I became a grandfather again today for the second time. So my headspace isn't quite here. I nearly rang Rashid up and said, I'm not coming, I'm going to see my grandson, but I came down for him as well. So I'm also the National Director and Chair of the Firefighters Cancer Foundation as well. So I look after firefighters with cancer, and we've got a great team of people there. And I'm very fortunate to be able to work with Rashid and the rest of the team here at Evacovation. So thanks for having me here tonight. It was a quick fly in, and it'll be a very quick fly out tomorrow morning to see the grandson. Okay, so I'll just go. Oh, here's the slides here. That's it. So with regards to what the Evacovation app can do, we're talking about my many years as a fire officer. When we go to a fire, whether it be a house fire, a building fire, a warehouse fire, a grass fire, bushfire, whatever, we do what's known as a dynamic risk assessment, and that's pretty much me jumping out of a truck and deciding how I'm going to fight the fire but keep people safe, and that's what it's all about. So, we look at how we're going to attack it, how we're going to get in there, is anybody missing, how we're going to rescue them and things like that. So in an evacuation, we look at these things as well. I was very fortunate that back in the early stages of 2010, 11, 12, I started doing a lot of work for NAB. And through another company, I did a lot of building evacuations and building wardens training, and that's with NAB, and that's where I met Rashid. And it was in 2014 that we were sitting in a coffee shop underneath a building, one of the NAB buildings in Adelaide, and he said to me, I've got an idea of an app to safely evacuate people from a building. And he put it down on paper, and he was drawing pictures for me and things like that. And I said to him, look, that's great, but you're talking to a firefighter here that has no technology understanding at all. And I said, if you can get it to work, mate, that's good. I'll back you up 100%. Well, as I said, that was back in 2014. Things went quiet for a couple of years. We spoke on Facebook, and we spoke via Messenger and things like that. And then things started to ramp up a few years ago. And I got back involved with Rashid and came to the understanding that this app can certainly save lives, and that's what it's about. So he said to me at the time, he said, look, it will streamline how we evacuate a building. And I said to him, well, how are we going to do that? And he said, just the push of a button. He said, it'll be the push of a button. And I said, is that as simple as it is? And he said, that's how simple it will be. And as you can see tonight from our launch, it is as simple as a push of a button. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. The slides aren't moving. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so what's that call challenge? In every evacuation, seconds count, and that's the most important thing. These valuable seconds are lost due to poor communication, and it's always happened, as Rashid and I have said many times when we were viewing evacuations. We would get people out of the building. We knew they evacuated out of the building, but we couldn't account for them. There was no way of accounting for them. And at one stage, we were up in 500 George Street in Sydney, and we both walked up to the assembly area, and there's a group of wardens there and about a dozen people. And I think we remember that very well. And we came back to the building, and every coffee shop underneath the building was full of people having a coffee. They'd all evacuated the building, but nobody had gone to the assembly area. So we didn't have any way of accounting for the fact that they'd gone out of the building. So as I said, these seconds count, and that's where we are. So, we want to know, have the people left the building? Have they evacuated their floor? Have they made it out to the building? Have they made it to their place of safety? And that's the most important thing. Have they got to the assembly area or their place of safety outside? And, or worst of all, is anybody missing or still unaccounted for? My worst fear as a fire officer is when I turn up to a fire at any time, is somebody says to me there's somebody still inside the building and they're still inside the house. And that's one of those things that I've had to deal with over the last 32 years, and unfortunately it happens. But if we can account for these people so that when the fire officers turn up, or any of the emergency management response people, we can say, yes, everybody is out of the building and everybody's safe, and we can prove it under that app. That's fantastic. Okay. I think I've lost a slide here. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so the Evacovation app, as I said, can do this seamlessly without losing this valuable time. With the push of a button, and by using the app, the Wardens group, and we'll talk about those in a moment for those who don't understand the Warden side of things, we can communicate in real time and get a complete picture of what is happening now in the evacuation. So it addresses the 6 major emergencies. These emergencies are, hopefully, no, they're not there. Okay, these 6 major emergencies are fire, evacuation, an external emergency, medical emergency, personal threat, and bomb threat. And anybody that's had anything to do with evacuating a building before, you understand that under certain circumstances, we may not necessarily evacuate to our assembly area, such as a bomb threat. Bomb threat, you might evacuate further away from the building. An internal emergency, you may have to evacuate further out from the building again. An external emergency, such as an armed intruder or a personal threat, you may have to shelter in place. All of these things can be handled under this app. And it's as I said before, it's a matter of just pushing a button. And then the communication between the Wardens group, which we'll touch on in a second, and the Wardens is fantastic. And it's so seamless, which is the one good thing. So in Australia, we train our people who oversee and direct evacuations to the Australian standard 3745. So anybody within Australia, within this room here, will understand planning for emergencies and facilities is this standard. The standard brings with it the term building wardens. Building wardens are the people who are in charge of an evacuation, and they are the important people. It actually says in the standard that in an emergency situations, the building wardens actually take over control and they take over from the building management. So as I used to say to training people, it's the only time you can actually tell the boss where to go. Okay, so they are from top to bottom order. Chief Warden, this person is in overall control of the evacuation. They also have a deputy chief warden, somebody that takes over for them if they're not there. We then go to the next tier. They are floor or area wardens, and as the term describes, they are people in charge of a floor or an area. And lastly, we have the wardens. They're the worker bees of the hive, to coin a phrase. They are the people that do all the work. The wardens conduct searches of the floor, marshal persons into exits, then lead them to an assembly area or a place of safety outside the building. So it's most important that we have a structured manner in which we do this, and this is what the Evacovation app can do. We can actually get this information out from the Chief Warden quickly and efficiently so that we don't have any miscommunications. Over the years, I've been to places who still use whips, so wardens intercommunication phones or points. I've been to places where they use two-way radios. That works fine. I'm actually doing with one of my major clients up in Queensland at the moment, and they use mobile phones. And I only suggested them to the other night, there is an app out there now which will streamline this process for you so that you don't have to worry about answering the phone all the time. Just the push of a button, you'll be able to evacuate and know exactly where everybody is. And they have multiple assembly areas as well, so it's going to make life a lot easier for them. So Australia has some of the strictest fire safety legislation in the world. And this gives us here at Evacovation the best practice methods for training, developing emergency procedures and plans that will safely evacuate persons from the building. And this is what we need. We're talking about safety at all times and saving lives, and that's what it's most important. Oh, there they are now. This is what happens when you fly in the day of the launch. Okay, so we all know that it's got a very powerful LMS. It's got API integration, which Shafat mentioned before. We can do analytical reports, and Rashid and I have actually been working with one of my clients, and we've got some reports there at the moment, and we've only just used part of the system. We can do forecasting, budgeting, resource management. It can create risk assessments. It's an asset management tool. and it also has APP connectivity. So it's a one-stop shop is the way I like to call it. As I said, when he mentioned it to me back in 2014, I thought to myself, how are we going to ever develop this? But it's certainly come to fruition tonight. Okay, so it's a game changer. So with the Evacovation app, I better bring up the next parts of it. There we go. Most people can be instructed on how to use it in just under 3 hours orientation. I would say less. If you're tech savvy, unlike me, you would be able to do it in under 3 hours. It takes 72 hours to load into your system, and we're in there. Like all good quality apps and programs, we have 24/7 support. Cross-border connectivity for businesses in other states and across the country, and it's also value-driven, which is most important. And of course, as I said, our aim is to keep everybody safe. So, as we said, the journey's been 6 years. Here's our board. If you have a look there, we've got a great mix of experience from emergency management, growth, strategy, risk management and technology. We've all had a hand in it. I was very privileged when Rashid asked me to be on the board. I was just happy to just give him advice and sit in the background. So it was quite pleasing when he asked me to be on the board, and we've been involved. And I think we've lost count of the number of Zoom meetings we've had with Andrew, Craig and the rest of the team and Shafat. So it's, but we have a great mix of experience there. And this combination within Evacovation makes us unique and willing and ready to serve not only Australia but the world with our expertise. We are people with a passion for saving lives. As I said, I don't think I would have been a firefighter for 32 years if I didn't have that passion to save lives. So, saving lives, as I said, is the most important priority for us. Remember that we are for you, we are from you and you are from us. And lastly, is the advertising side of things. Whoops. If you would like any further information, please contact us via the website, our email, or most importantly, call within Australia, 1300 Evacuate. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bruce. What a journey, hey? It's really, really incredible to hear the whole journey. 6 years. And it's really good to see the under the hood, to see what Evacovation does as a platform, as an app, and to really get to know some of the amazing people that have been there to really shape and create this platform. And so we have another amazing board member that is here with us this evening. His name is Andrew Stark. Now, Andrew Stark was a serving member of the Australian Federal Police, or the AFP, for 21 years. He spent 6 years as a security advisor to the Australian Foreign Minister. He is currently the Chief Risk Officer for Evacovation. Please welcome to the stage Andrew Stark.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for everyone who's come tonight. See friends. Hi, Kylie. Seeing you here. It's great to see so many people who we haven't seen for a long time, so it's great. This evening has been a long time coming and has arrived because of a significant amount of blood, sweat and tears. But the motivation that has always been about tonight is people. People who are in organisations, people who live in our community, people who are privileged and people who are not. People who are just like you and me. I've been extremely blessed to have had a career where I've worked with and for some incredible people. Often the people I've consulted for have been some of the most at-risk people in the world at that particular time. I've worked with presidents who have been overseeing countries in the midst of cultural transformation. I've been with presidents and prime ministers who have made decisions that have cost the lives of many innocent people in order to save the lives of many others. I've had the honour of advising Australia's first female Prime Minister. Sorry, I'm having the same problems Bruce is having. The first female Prime Minister, and have witnessed the beginning of the incredible gender transformation in this country, where my daughter's life opportunities now are equal to that of my son. I've worked with vulnerable elderly Australians whose chance of suicide beyond 65 years of age increases significantly due to loneliness and boredom. And I've worked with victims of domestic violence who represent 1 in every 6 women in this country. In every circumstance, the aim was to prevent the physical security of people, to protect the physical security of people and ensure people were safe to go about their business, whether it be running the government of a country or ensuring that a family was safe, protected and free and to go home to their homes at night. In 2015, I commenced a consultancy with one of Australia's largest national organisations, corporate organisations called the National Australia Bank. A number of my wonderful colleagues are here tonight who have been mentioned a number of times, but it's great to see you. It's here I met Rashid Khan. We worked in a bunker at the back of a security operations centre in the middle of Melbourne's central business district. And Rashid sat next to me for most of the time that we were there. And it was here that I learned about his incredible love, his dedication to God, his love for people, and his love for his family and friends. If you ever have worked with Rashid, you soon realise that he enjoys a chat and he enjoys his coffee. He would say to me many times, "Andrew, what time can you go for coffee? I have an idea to share with you." I have the bosses of that consultancy sitting right here now, and if they only knew how many times we ended up at coffee shops with Rashid. The area Rashid and I worked in was responsible for the policies of the process of evacuating staff in an emergency situation. Rashid had been responsible for this and believed that he could, through the use of technology, make the system more efficient, increase the safety and well-being of the evacuees, and ensure lives were saved in the process. The more I understood about the app and the motivations behind it, the more I was intrigued and began to understand the potential this product had. I began to realise that with the technology that this product had and the amount of people it could protect, it would be able to make my work more efficient, with more excellence, and protect many more people in far greater numbers than I ever had done before. The motivation of keeping people safe and secure was clearly front and centre, and I began to understand the potential to keep large numbers of workers in offices safe, government employees safe on a grand scale, crowd attending events, and the safe evacuation of people from disaster areas. The potential was boundless. 6 years on from that coffee, Evacovation is a reality and is ready to transform the emergency evacuation space across the world with an out-of-the-box solution for the user. 6 features of the app that make this an out-of-the-box solution are as follows. It's user-friendly interface, it's data feed from the portal, it's live information feed, it's predefined processes, it's one-touch instructions, and seamless connectivity. Throughout my career, my role has been to undertake thorough risk assessments in order to understand the risk of an organisation and for the staff who work there. Evacovation has made it possible to assess risk on a far greater scale and mitigate risk for a greater number of people. Not only does it address risk during the time of the emergency, it works with external forces to ensure that the people are all safely accounted for and are able to return home at night to their families. The app revolutionises risk assessment processes in 8 ways. The app, with a powerful administration portal, it has real-time user interface connectivity, its sources of data are analysed in real time, its levels of hierarchy are engaged seamlessly, it has powerful tools to analyse post-emergency reports, the emergencies address have custom modules, it connects external resources and forces, and finally, it provides core resources to public and private sectors. Evacovation also helps organisations to be prepared. Often the safety and welfare of people is given low priority during the busyness of corporate life. The bottom line, and driving for excellence, overshadows the need to be prepared when things don't go as planned. Evacovation works with organisations to be prepared for the bad times that inevitably occur, and whether it be in the personal lives at the time or the time of a disaster, this incredible product helps organisations stand alone as attractive employers to prospective employees as they stand prepared to keep their staff safe and secure. The app covers government, organisations and people. In government, it covers policy, framework, strategy and technology. In organisations, it covers audit, consulting, resources and technology. And for people, it's the app, process, automisation and technology, being Evacovation. A one-stop shop that enables organisations to be prepared to understand the risks and how to mitigate these risks for its people. I have some incredibly important people in my life and I wanted to take the moment and the opportunity to honour them. First, my beautiful wife Frances, who is here tonight. She's stood and loved and been supportive of me and our family for almost 30 years. Her love of people shines out in everything that she does in helping the lives of people with a disability, and that's what she's doing right now in this city, including our beautiful daughter. I'd also like to honour my pastor, Pastor Russell Evans, who through his leading and testimony has been an enormously important person in my life. Through his leading of Planet Shakers Church, we've distributed over 1 million meals to hungry Melburnians during the COVID lockdown in 2021. An incredible love for people demonstrated because of his faith in God and through the actions of an active church. And the third person is this incredible human being in front of us called Rashid Khan. His love for people is demonstrated through his faithfulness to God, his love for his family and friends, and his care and concern for people throughout the world. This love has been his sole motivator for turning a dream into a reality. When we first sat down for coffee 6 years ago, who would have envisaged that we would have been sitting here tonight talking about a world-leading, technology-driven application that is gaining attention around the world? Since that day, I've seen he and Carnwell become parents to the most adorable twins, Rian and Hania. I always knew they would be incredible parents, but the challenge of the premature arrival of their children, the subsequent hospitalisation of Carnwell and the twins for a period of time, has seen challenges that would have been difficult for the most capable of us. However, instead of letting these challenges slow them down or distract them from the end goal, they have powered through it. And the result of that determination is on display for you to see tonight. In the midst of a difficult 3 or 4 year period, we've seen the development of this world-changing app that both Carmel and Rashid have devoted their lives to. I would also like to acknowledge the Evacovation board, Shafat, Bruce and Shan, fantastic people who I get to know, and I really enjoy working with you and look forward to the years ahead. I'd also like to acknowledge the great Shark, Mr. Craig Sharkey over here, and thank you for your words of wisdom and advice that you've given as well in this lead up to this time. But can I tell you sincerely and truthfully that on that day 6 years ago, I asked Rashid, I said, mate, what is your motivation for creating an app that is going to be so hard to develop and pose so many hoops for you to jump through? Rashid said, my faith in my God demands that I create something that is going to help people all around the world. I have to help people. And ladies and gentlemen, therein lies the motivation behind Evacovation. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Andrew, please give him another round of applause. So we've had a great opportunity to hear from all of our board members, from our founder and from our CEO. I've got a question for you guys. Who remembers where the emergency exit is? Yeah, that's why we need Evacovation, so that if there does happen to be an emergency, we don't have the same issues that Bruce has seen happen time and time again, that it does help each and every one of us be safe. And so we've come to the time of the evening where we have the opportunity to do a Q&A. I'm going to ask our board members who are in the room to join me up on stage. I'm actually going to set up their chairs here from over there. And we've also got Shafat, who's joining us from overseas online, and the AV team will get him on board. So please think about if you have any questions for our board. And also we do have an international audience. So for those that are watching from somewhere else, from the comfort of their own homes, and you have the opportunity to type in the chat of whichever platform you are watching on, please do pop your questions in the chat. I'm going to set up the chairs, we're going to do the Q&A, and then we're going to have some dessert. Great. Hi, Shafat. Shafat did ask that we give him the questions in the chat. So I have a question. I have been listening to all of you speak, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about how Rashid found his board members. You just need to flick it up, flick it up. And then what you'll see is it'll light up in blue. Is it lighting up in blue for us? I know, it's fun, isn't it? Test your mics. Let's go 1, 2, 1, 2, testing.
Test.
Great. All right. So I do have a question. I'd love to hear from Rashid. How do you search for board members that are really going to contribute to the growth of your organisation?
First and foremost, I actually worked with Bruce on a lot of evacuations which we did in the past. And that was my motivation because he understands that business thoroughly. He understands the processes. He's been in the industry and the industry leader. So a lot of knowledge coming from that side. Because evacuation is just not technology. It is a lot more about process understanding. And unless we understand the process, we can't really convert that into technology. So understanding that process, a lot of value actually came from Bruce Beasley. He guided me through the processes, and then it helped me and Sean to understand those processes and break them down and convert it into technology. While on the other side, Andrew has a lot of input from personal threats because he has been in personal security space for so long. His understanding of what can happen during a personal threat and how we can mitigate that. And especially when we're trying to get some domestic violence victims, using them as the personal threat case, his understanding on the matter is absolutely phenomenal. He understands that domain in and out. And I think that wealth of knowledge coming from him, I should not say qualifies him. He has to be on the board because of his knowledge. Knowledge is the number one priority for me, bringing my board members.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to pass it out to our audience. Who has a question either online or in the room for any one of our board members?
I'll ask the question.
Great. What was your name? My name is Ikram has a question for us.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask Rashid, how did you manage work-life balance considering you got a very young family and your wife is also a full-time entrepreneur? How did you manage it?
Yeah, I think time management is quite a skill. And we had a lot of long hour meetings, especially in technology space. Because technology was a difficult part when we were developing that product. And I've been very lucky to work with Sean. I would mention his name time and time again. And Shafat, because he was very instrumental in the user experience and designing. And all of these members were overseas, and some part of Sean's business is overseas. So it was very easy for me, late at night, I can just jump on and go to Sean's garage and we just sit down there and write down on that big whiteboard while his family is sleeping as well, and we just go through those processes, break them down, and then communicate with the other developers. So to your answer, Ikram, that was our challenge and still is, but yeah, we're trying to get hold of that.
Thank you so much. Any other questions from the room, online? Don't be shy. Yes.
Rashid, I think this is a fantastic product and you've done very, very well. Congratulations. I do have one query about compliance with 3745. Sorry to be so technical at this time of the evening. How does your app hope to address the requirement for training under that standard?
I will put that thing on to maybe Beasley, because he is into that training domain. So we have created another learning management system as part of evacuation portal, which is quite independent, but that is covered by a registered training organization. So we got an RTO under us, and within that RTO we are compliant by law to the Australian Education Qualification Authority, and we do all of our learning through those qualification authority, through the RTO, and then we have embedded all of those courses into an LMS, and that LMS is run through by the qualified instructors online. And Bruce Beasley is one of the qualified instructors for fire safety advising and ECO members.
Was Bruce going to answer that?
Bruce? Would you like to add
I
anything?
thought Rashid did such a great job. I thought, yes, you've done my job for me. Look, as Rashid just said, yeah, we're working with an RTO. A lot of the training that's done these days with regards to building wardens is non-accredited. Many, look, I've lost count of the amount of non-accredited courses that I do to my clients, because they just don't want they don't want the full type accreditation. As you're aware, if you've had anything to do with that, you know that you add another 2 or 3 hours to training as soon as you put accreditation into it, because of the assessments and the amount of time that it takes, plus also the extra money, because then the RTO likes to take their little bit from the assessments as well. So we have got a good RTO. I actually work with a very good RTO up in Queensland as well. So, but yeah, the answer to that question is we have good training packages. One of my clients is a big client in Queensland, and we did an online due to COVID. They said to me, I've always delivered face-to-face to them. They said to me last year, could we do online? And after many hours and many Zoom meetings, Rashid and I got the online program together for them. And it is working quite well. The issue wasn't on our end, the issue was on their end with regards to their servers and the buffering issues with videos and things like that. So we know it works, they know it works, but it doesn't actually work for them. So we're working on that too. So it's, but we certainly have got many trainers. I have got a core group of accredited trainers. Nearly all of them are firefighters or past firefighters who deal with this sort of training day in, day out. They're all qualified. In Queensland, to deliver a lot of this training, you have to be what's known as a qualified fire safety advisor. It's something that got brought in 2008. And there's certain qualifications you need. All of the guys that work with me who have worked with Evacovation as well have all got their Cert 4 in TAE, and also are fire safety advisors. So, we've got a core group of people, and we're building more to be able to deliver this. So if somebody comes along and says, yes, we want the app, but we need training in it, that we can do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, Bruce. Any other questions? Yes, Leanne.
I'm so excited about this app. I'm a tech, but what I want to know is, who is this for? Like, what is it? Corporate? Is it big buildings in the city? Is it Crown Casino? Who is this for? Who can we market this to for you?
Thank you, Luanne. That's a great question. As Andrew was going through his presentation, he mentioned there is 3 core parts of our evacuation. One way we can go into developing countries and we can advise at a government level how the infrastructure should work, how the frameworks can be improved, because our app is developed on Australian standards, and Australian standard is one of the highest standard in emergency preparedness in the world. So we can go in and advise them on how they can effectively apply Australian standard or an app of an Australian standard level, and what sort of things they need as a framework for technology. So we can advise them at the government level, from the policy perspective as well. The second part is organization. So any organization who has got multiple buildings, or even if one building, they got multiple floors or wardens, we can go in and deploy our software without any hardware interface. We don't need any hardware interface because we have completely or independently made this software, and it's just completely independent of any other hardware. So we can go in and deploy this software, and they can have a complete visibility of their resources, complete visibility of their wardens, complete visibility of their assets within emergency management, such as sprinkler systems, fire extinguishers, and all others. So that's the organization level. The third level, we are still working on that is people level, which means we wanted to take this app to another level where it can be deployed to every single person. Every single household can have an app like this. That's Evacuation's next version. That's our target in another 2 years. That everybody will have evacuation on their mobile phone. And it will guide them through the process. It will give them that indication of what they can do when an emergency occurs. So they don't need to think about so many things at that time. It will give them the right indication at the right time. So that's where we are heading towards. And we wanted to deploy our artificial intelligence, which Sam mentioned earlier. So we are doing an R&D on artificial intelligence, and there is someone in this room today as well from technology perspective who we're currently working with on IoT, so Internet of Things. So we are embedding all these existing hardwares into our app. So our app will talk to all these hardwares. And that's the future we look at.
Great answer there, Rashid. Thank you so much. Any other questions in the room? People watching overseas or from the comfort of their own home? Going once, going twice. Solved. We've got a question from the back of the room.
Thank you so much for that. I'm sure that you probably looked into it already. Funnily enough, last night our team was bumping out of Emporium in the city, out of Uniqlo, and there was a fire alarm on the 4th floor, and the 4th floor was actually evacuated. We were still working on other levels, and as was mentioned earlier, we had a lot of people evacuating and going into and having a coffee. Can you envisage maybe having, like now we're so used to now getting QR codes as we're entering premises, can you envisage in future for, say, all the employees, because that whole level was all retail, it was a big retail sector in Emporium, they were going about their normal businesses, didn't realise there was 3 fire brigades outside, fire wardens coming through the premises, evacuating levels, they were totally unaware. So could you imagine maybe everybody that's employed will have that app on their phone, so that way in the instance of an evacuation, they get the notification and exactly what should be done. Because I was really concerned last night that there might have been something happening on the 4th floor and everybody on the retail level on the 3rd floor unaware of what was going on.
I think that's a great question, Stav, and we have actually thought this process through as well of how we can manage different floors at a different time. Whenever somebody is entering or registering as a contractor for any of the work done in the building, so if the building is, I would call it evacuation safe, which means they have deployed evacuation as an app in their building, then everybody who's coming on board on that day, even if it's a visitor, has to go through the process of evacuation. So once the system will identify that person as a visitor or a contractor on any particular floor, it will highlight that. And once any emergency occurs in that building, that contractor will be notified through a notification system. He does not need to have that app on his phone, but he will be notified through an SMS that there is something happened on your floor, because app is very much for the building itself. So people come and go. That's really a hassle. Some people don't like too many apps on their phones as well. And as we know that people are a little skeptical to technology. So if you are working at multiple venues in every second day, you don't want to download so many apps. So we have created that SMS facility going out for the contractors and the visitors, so they can be accounted for in any evacuation or in any other emergency, because the other part of that one is, within evacuation, we created a double responsibility. It's just not, the chief warden is not the only person responsible of creating an emergency. And that has been the case till today. What we have done, we have made wardens, or the people who are responsible for taking people out of the building, more onerous through this app. So we have given them that authority to create an emergency. So let's say there's a active shooter goes on outside the building, he can create an emergency and the people inside the building would know, rather than finding out by the fire shots or by any other misadventure. So we have given that ownership to the warden as well within the app. And I think that's a fantastic feature to have in the app for the future, because we wanted to make sure that everybody is accountable and everybody is responsible for the safety of himself or herself and the others.
Thank you so much. Great question there, Stav. And it's interesting that that experience literally happened last night, which just shows how often these things can possibly happen. Are there any other questions? Yes. So we have a question up the back.
Hi, and congratulations. First of all, I think the app is amazing and it's going to really change and save people's lives. My question is, as I was listening to your presentations, is there an intention that this also can be used in schools? I know a lot of schools have many incidents, whether it's a small fire, or I know with my girls' school there was a robbery near the school and the whole school went into shutdown. And I know that that's a very manual process for them, and I'm just wondering whether that's anything that's been considered perhaps now or in the future.
Absolutely. Education sector is one of the sector which we are thinking to go in, and there's a lot more within evacuation as well, because as mentioned, we have consulting space in there as well, and we need to guide these young children and young generation of ours, not about technology, because they understand technology. So just by deploying evacuation is just one part of that, and then we can deploy that, and any emergency which occurs, that will be accounted for. People will be counted, the students will be counted, and then they will start understanding the processes within Australian Standard. They're usually shown that. But another very important space where Andrew Stark works in is consulting, where we wanted to go into schools and advise these young children what are their rights as of when they will become partners, as when they will become in future, when they indulge in different activities, what are their roles and responsibilities. So from consulting side, we wanted to make sure that the future generation is secure too. Andrew, you want to add anything to that?
Anyone who's known me for more than 5 minutes would know that it's so funny seeing me up here talking about technology, because I am so hopeless with technology. One of my friends, John O'Tan over here, was even helping me with technology yesterday. This is what I can just see that this app is doing is it's making so much more opportunity for risk to be assessed in a really effective way in so many environments. And the school would be a perfect one. It's a fantastic one to do. Another one that I'm really passionate about, and my team, former colleagues over here were part of this, is around domestic violence. And some of, 1 in 6 women in Australia is going to fall victim to domestic violence at some time in their life. And so an organisation that we worked at had 35,000 staff in, roughly 50% of those people were women. So there's 18,000 people there. So out of about 18,000 people, roughly 3,000 people were either suffering domestic violence or have potential to in the future. And so what this app can do, and the potential of this app to really, really look at assessing risk in a real way is incredibly exciting. So thanks for your question, that's great.
We have a question from our international audience, and this question is actually for Shafat. And the question is, what is your international growth strategy, and when will the app and its services be available in other countries? So I'm going to hand that over to Shafat, who is our international correspondent.
Well, thank you, Anna. It's a very interesting question because right now we're rolling out in Australia because evacuation is homegrown in Australia. Our entire research processes are based on the Australian standards. But however, in the emergency response management sector, some of the developed countries pretty much have a similar structure and policies which are in place. So, you know, Australia is somewhere in the top 5 when it comes to emergency response management. So developed countries where you have a structure in buildings and high-rise and corporations, warehouses, logistics, ports, even in the sensitive government-owned assets, you have the chief warden, you have a warden, you have floor wardens, you have the whole thing in place. So therefore, our prime target market will essentially be developed countries, which could be USA, which could be UK, which could be the Middle Eastern countries, especially the GCC region. That includes UAE, where we are headquartered, Saudi, Kuwait, and Qatar. These might be the countries where we'll target. Now, coming to the second phase, which is the developing countries, the challenge that we face is obviously that they do not have that structure, the framework, which is already in place. So when we go to developing countries, the strategy is very different because over there we go in as advisors to the government, starting from literally, putting in the policy, the framework. And then, there's a lot of training involved with the external departments to understand how it works. And also there's a lot of awareness campaign, which is required to aware these countries that you need to invest in emergency response management. So for example, there are many developing countries which face floods every year, and they absolutely do nothing about it. It's devastating. Natural disasters are common. Active shooting is common. Bomb threats are very common. So all those areas, fires are very common. So all those areas, I think the hard work, the groundwork will be a lot. So for us to really penetrate in the developing countries will be definitely a long haul. However, our prime target market would be developed countries for which the system is actually ready and it can be adopted, as we mentioned, as Bruce has mentioned in his presentation. It's just 72 hours and we're in. Thank you. I hope that answers.
Great. Thank you so much, Shafat. All right. Any other questions in the room, overseas? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much to everybody that has joined us, and thank you so much to our amazing board members. Please, let's thank them. Thank them for coming from interstate. Thank them for coming from overseas. Congratulations, Bruce, on becoming a grandfather again. Congratulations. And thank you for joining us here tonight. Now, before we go, this literally brings us to the end of the formalities. But before each of you leave, we do ask, inside your gift bag, there is a photo frame. Now, that photo frame is there, and we would love to fill that photo frame with your beautiful faces. So before you leave, we do ask that you see our photographer at just to the left of the front door, in front of the media wall. We'd love to get a photo of either yourself or you and your partner. I would ask that we sort of go table by table so that I do make sure that every single person does have their photo taken, and gives an opportunity for you to see Rashid again and Rashid to see you and have a conversation, because he will be delivering that photo to you. Yes. Now, speaking of speaking with Rashid, there is a purpose to this launch. We're not just here to celebrate, we're really here to create an opportunity to be able to support this amazing technology and online platform and consultancy and policy and procedures to be able to grow. And so if something today has piqued your interest, I do encourage you to have a conversation with Rashid, have a conversation with one of the board members, and really explore how you're able to support this growth so we can really continue to save more lives. Thank you all so much for joining me here and all of us here today. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And now just enjoy the cheese and the wine, and we'll just start maybe with the table to my furthest left to join the photographer out there, and then we'll just kind of circle through the tables, and then you are welcome to hang around or to head home. We're going to have some jazzy music to wind us out of this evening. Thank you all so much.